Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Veda and this is The Simple Budget. Here on my channel, I show you how my family is using the zero-based budgeting method in order to maintain a simplified financial life. If that sounds like content that you're interested in, I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join our little crew here. And with that being said, let's get into today's video. All right, well, hello everyone and happy Friday. And thank you for your extra forgiveness this week in all of the wonkiness of things. If you missed my video that I posted on Wednesday, which you should absolutely go check out, by the way. But if you missed it, I accidentally deleted all of my footage from Monday's cash stuffing, which was so frustrating. I'm really good actually about because I film all of my videos on my phone, and I'm really good about keeping my phone cleared out so that I have lots of space for all of my footage. And I guess I went through and thought that I was deleting footage from the video before and accidentally deleted Monday's cash stuffing footage, which was so frustrating. And when I delete something, I permanently delete it. Like I go into my recently deleted to get rid of it, because otherwise it's still taking up space on your phone. So I was so frustrated. But you know, live and learn, move on, etc., etc. Anyways, I'm going to jump in because today is definitely going to be one of those weekly check-ins where you need a snack because we're going to be here for a little while. We had a very spendy week. So we will just, we'll jump right in here. So I'm going to grab my budget planner, and this binder, by the way, is available from a brand that I've always found on Amazon called Jumping Fox Designs. They are a small business, but they do sell through Amazon. So I'll go ahead and leave this linked below for you if you're interested. I love this binder and it has held up really well. It gets used a lot. But I mean, you would never know. So anyways, inside, I make all of the dashboards. I make the budget planner. So if you're interested in any products, any budget products, I have them linked in my Etsy, or they're all in my Etsy shop, which is linked below in my description box if you are interested as well. I make the dashboards, the budget planner. I also make cash envelopes and placeholders and things like that, savings challenges, the whole lot of it. So anyways, let me just jump back here really quickly. I'm gonna grab the expense tracking pages, and then I'm gonna actually zoom you guys in, and then we'll just get into the expense tracking. All right, so now that we're in it, like I mentioned, go ahead and grab a snack. We have a ton of expenses to go over. I will try my hardest not to be super chatty with things that are completely superfluous and unnecessary, but I also really like my videos to serve as educational tools for people who are new to cash budgeting and cash stuffing, especially on the expense tracking weeks, because if you have been at this for a while, you can attest to the fact that the expense tracking is the absolute necessity of budgeting, because unless you are actually aware of where your money is going, you don't know if you're staying in budget. You don't know if you're meeting those goals. And it really helps to be this intimate with your expenses, because it really ensures that you are just staying on track and not going overboard and things like that. And this is a really good week of showcasing that, because there's so much spending. So Mr. Simple was actually even saying to me, he was like, when I see this many expenses, it still causes like anxiety. And it's because, you know, I'm the person, if you're new around here, I'm the person who used to be the really spendy one, the frivolous spender, the person who just didn't care about money and where it was going and where it was coming from. And all of that has changed since we started doing this. But I can promise you that if you are here, you will find a home with somebody who understands if you're the spendy person. And I promise you that if you stick to this, not only are the expenses that you do, the things that you spend your money on will feel more satisfying, because you'll know there's like no guilt that's associated with purchasing things. So anyways, let's jump right into it here. First up, we have a $6.48 video game purchase. This was just for my son. When my in-laws were in town, I mentioned this in last week's weekly check-in too, I think. They like to take my kids to buy them like a toy from a toy store. And this was their Christmas shopping trip, but they have a certain budget to stick within. But if they don't spend that full budget, my mother-in-law gives them the leftover cash. And so my son wanted to buy something for a video game, and so we'll have a couple purchases like that here. And so it's coming from our gifts folder envelope, because we took the cash and we put it in our gifts envelope so that we could buy it. So it was $6.48. We're going to be paying $6 back to the bank. I'm just going to tell you guys about the coin jar now. So obviously with any purchase, it's dollars and change. It's rarely a whole dollar. And so typically what we do is we round up the purchase, we round up the purchase to the next dollar amount and return that money to the bank. And then my husband will track the change overage, because he keeps a spreadsheet of all of our finances as well. And so he is always aware of how much change we have in that virtual coin jar. That's what we call it. So in this instance, though, the 48 cents we took from the virtual coin jar, and that's the benefit of keeping track of that change whenever you return a whole dollar amount to the bank. By rounding up, you're giving yourself a little bit of change overage, and that builds up over the course of time. You would be surprised how many full expenses we've actually funded just with this. I mean, they've been small, usually under $15, but if it's miscellaneous or there's a category in your budget that you've spent a lot from and you are really trying to plug that hole, adding up this change and tracking this change actually really helps. So, an encouragement for you to do it. And then next up, the same exact purchase, $6.16, and I'll be returning $6 to the bank. It wasn't the same purchase, two different purchases, but the same idea, something for my son's video games. So. Next up is a cigar purchase. I don't even know the name of the cigar store that my hubby went to, but he was invited to a bourbon and cigar night from a neighbor of ours. And so he went and he had to pick up cigars. It's not something he's naturally inclined toward. We don't keep cigars in the house. And so, he went out and he purchased a couple so that he could go hang out at this bourbon and cigar night. So it was $16.23. This is coming from his spending, and I'll be returning $16 to the bank. Next up, I'm trying to remember what this is for. A Home Depot purchase, and it's coming from home maintenance. Oh, it was weed whacker string. So yeah, nothing exciting. $14.58 coming from home maintenance. I'll be returning $15 to the bank, because this is one of those purchases where we rounded up. This was a very Amazon heavy week. Holy smokes. So just know that going up front. So this was another home maintenance purchase. This was actually for our robot vacuum. We're actually super annoyed. So the robot vacuum that we have, we bought several years ago, and it's the iRobot brand or Roomba or whatever. And we love it. I have spoken about this before. Highly, highly recommend it. It is, especially when you don't have carpet and you have, ours is luxury vinyl, but wood floors. The dust just kind of floats all about, and it's so much easier if you're vacuuming every day so that you can avoid that. But I just run my robot vacuum every day, and then I do a more in-depth vacuum when I'm actually mopping the floors. Anyways, but the robot vacuum that we have, really good quality, and we've had it for years and years. And so they don't really make the replacement parts for our particular version of it anymore. And so we have to get third-party replacement parts. And so we had to do this a few months ago, because the little there's a little side spinny brush that kind of helps to get the stuff away from the edges of the room. And it's super duper effective and we love it. But because this is not an original iRobot part, it breaks, I would say once every 3 months or so. So it's definitely this was something that we hadn't considered saving up for the foreseeable future, but it's definitely something that I think now we're getting to the point where it's I don't want to keep spending $15 every few months, and it is getting older, and maybe we should start saving for a new one. I don't know. Either way, for now, we replaced the little spinny side brush, and it was $15.14, and I'll be returning $15 to the bank. Next up, we rented oh my gosh, Jurassic Park for the kids. And they ended up really liking it. I thought that they were going to be scared. We're like, for those of you who may be new around here, we're kind of going through the classic like 90s movies that we loved as kids and sharing them with our kids. And so this was one that my husband suggested, and the kids ended up really loving it. So we rented it from like Apple TV. It was $4.23, and we'll be returning $4 to the bank. Next up, oh my gosh. Okay, so I have a couple of Gap purchases, but Gap doesn't charge you until they ship out the items. So that's why it's like split up into a couple purchases here. But they had the white button down shirt that I've been wanting for months, I think, if you guys have been around for a while. They finally had it in my size. This is an item. One of the reasons why I shop at Gap is because they carry talls. And I just wanted sort of like a classic but slightly oversized white button-down shirt. But even though it was going to be oversized, I still get a tall because I like to make sure that the sleeves are long enough. So they didn't have my size in a tall, which was really frustrating. They were sold out and sold out. Finally, they had it back in stock, and it was on sale for like $29.99. And so it was $30.85 with tax, but I'll be returning $31 to the bank. Next up, this was a Venmo purchase. We took the kids to a pumpkin patch, and there was this cute little like baker food truck situation there. And so I bought a loaf of sourdough from her and then a cookie for everybody in the fam. And then we also bought pumpkins as well. So this is going to be split up into a couple different purchases, but we've got $14 coming from Family Fun and $18 coming from grocery. I'm not really sure how much money I have left in the grocery envelope, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. I actually spent over this week, and the only reason I did that was because Sprouts was having a really good sale on their like ginormous pork loin or pork shoulders. I got like an 8-pound one for $19. So I went over on groceries this week, but it's fine. It'll just come from next week's groceries. So even if I don't have the money here or in my grocery envelope right now, I'll just stuff it less next week, and that makes up for that. That's how we handle that. We have a Target purchase up next. This was just for a pair of pajamas for my daughter. She's rapidly growing out of the ones that have fit her in years past. And so I got her these. I'm having to buy her like adult sizes now so that she can get a couple years out of them, hopefully. But I got this pair of cute little heart jammies for her. They were $35.98. I'll be returning $36 to the bank. Target, what was this for? I bought the little brass frame. If you guys saw from my video on Wednesday, I cut down one of the pretty Christmas prints and I put it in a brass frame. And the brass frames were what I got from Target, and I'm charging it to my YouTube account because anytime I do something like that, it's like a YouTube expense. And so the total cost was $14.58, and I'll be returning $15 to the bank. Next up, this was actually a pretty Target heavy week too. So the total purchase for this one was $42.96, and it breaks down into a couple different categories. And I think I mentioned this in the last weekly check-in that I did, but it's super duper important to save your receipts, one, so that you can use them in cashback apps. If you've never heard of them, I have all of mine linked below, the ones that I use. Basically you just accrue points every time you upload a picture of your receipt. It just depends on which app you're using. If you use my referral code, I will get bonus points, but you will too. But it also helps to save your receipts so that you can track your purchases, because it's really important to know which of your categories you're spending from. Obviously, anytime you make a purchase, so that you can make sure you're staying in budget. And also so that you don't like sit there and try to rack through your brain to try to remember what you spent. So anyways, So yes, we broke it down into a couple different categories. $20 of it came from home decor, and then $22.96 was for Christmas. They released, I'm not usually like super duper into like buying candles ahead of the season. However, the Hearth and Hand department in Target, which is Chip and Joanna Gaines' line there, they have a candle that's called Balsam and Berry. That is one of my like absolute favorite Christmas scents of all time. If you are a Yankee Candle fan and you remember their Holly Berry scent, that for me is just like nostalgic Christmas, because my mom used to burn that when I was a kid, and I absolutely love that scent. To me, it's like spicy and piney, and it just is like all of the good smells of Christmas wrapped up into one. And Yankee Candle has not released Holly Berry, and I don't even know how long. It's like one of their retired scents. And so when I saw Balsam and Berry, or when I smelled it for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, this smells just like Holly Berry. So because they've started releasing their Christmas items, I picked up 2 of the Balsam and Berry scented candles. I may have gotten more to get me through the Christmas season, but we're actually not going to really be here for Christmas this year. So I figured 2 candles was plenty for that. Anyway, so that's why it's coming from Christmas. We do have sort of like little miscellaneous decor item earmark available for stuff like that. So anyways, that's what that was. Next up is Amazon. This was for my husband. He purchased, I bought him a lighter last year, like a Zippo lighter. And it was sort of like in honor of my dad, like the piece itself, like the design of it was sort of in honor of my dad. Anyways, he needed to replace like the wick or something in it. I'm not really sure how Zippo lighters work, but he needed to replace it. So he purchased the stuff to fix it. It's $5.08, and I'll be returning $5 to the bank. Next up, this was actually a gift. Somebody in my husband's office ended up in the hospital with pancreatitis. So they all chipped in and got him some flowers. And so my hubby chipped in $10. And so it's going to be coming from our gifts envelope. Next up this was an Apple purchase. This was for me. This is for like a game that I play. It's actually not the gardening game that I used to tell you guys about. But it's actually part of some of the referral stuff that I talk about. It's one of my referral links below. It's for an app called Inbox Dollars. And this is one where like if you're playing games, once you reach certain levels, they'll like give you money back. And it's because they play ads during the games or whatever. But I'm like, your girl won't turn away some games. Anyways, one of the things was if you make a certain amount of purchases, you get some cash back for that too. And I always buy like for example, one of the things was if you spend like $3, we'll give you like $5 back or something. But I think it's because they think that most people are just going to spend like more than the $5. And so that's why they give $5 back. Anyways, I did the purchases so that I could get the cash back. So that was like a really long-winded explanation, and it's not really important if you're not really like into that sort of thing. But I will sort of like as like a decompression thing, I'll like mindlessly play through certain games. And with Inbox Dollars, if you play the game for a certain amount of levels, you get money back. And so I will just play the game until I've reached whatever levels give me money back, and then I delete the game and move on to another one. So anyway, so it was $11.62. I'll be returning $12 to the bank, but I have money sitting in that like in that app right now that I'm getting back, and it's much, much more than this. So I'll be fine. Anyways. Next up, we have just a toiletries purchase for $27.06, and I'll be returning $27 to the bank. This was the Van Man's. I think I was mentioning it to you guys in the last weekly check-in. I purchased their toothpaste powder, which we've been using, and I really like. I feel like it leaves my teeth feeling like squeaky clean. And I really, really like the balm too. Their lip balm, oh my gosh, it feels so nice. It's like a beeswax lip balm. And actually, they were the ones, this brand were the ones who alerted me to the fact that Burt's Bees no longer includes, they don't have any of the good ingredients that they used to have, because it used to be a small-owned business, and now it was like bought by some big food corporation, and so they put a bunch of crap in the chapstick now, or the lip balm or whatever. But Van Man's makes a really, really good lip balm, and there's a ton of lip balm in the container. Like their brand is pricier, but like the tooth powder, we're never going to run out of that stuff. Like it's in a little it's expensive, but it's in a container like this, and you only need like the tiniest bit of powder per tooth brushing. So we're just never going to run out of this stuff. Anyways, I also, this week I picked up their mouthwash because, you know, who doesn't want minty fresh breath? So we got that. Next up, was a purchase also from Amazon. This was just a thing to clean my aligners. I wear like aligners. And it's one of those like pulsating ones that you can also use it to like clean jewelry and stuff like that. But it was $43.29. I got it on sale. So it was, I'll be returning $43 to the bank. Another Amazon purchase. This was for shipping supplies. This was just for like envelopes that I ship out my products in for my Etsy shop. And they were having a sale, so I bought a bulk amount of them. So it was $46.74, and I'll be returning $47 to the bank. This was the other part of my Gap purchase. So it's $93.69, I think. I'm returning $94 to the bank. What I ended up having to do, I was sort of annoyed. So actually here, let me move this down. I think you guys are in frame still, but I want to make sure that you can see everything. So they had this beautiful like turtleneck sweater dress that I really, really loved. And I bought 2 different sizes because with their tall line, it's from small to like extra large, I think. But I typically wear an extra small in Gap clothing. But again, I was concerned about sleeve length because it's a long sleeve turtleneck dress. It's beautiful. I'll leave a picture of it up on the screen for you now. It's like really chic and simple, and that's sort of my style. I don't wear color, and I wear a lot of like very basic clothing. And I thought this one would be really pretty for fall and winter. Anyways, I ordered the extra small, and then I ordered the small tall because I didn't know like if the small would look too like bulky or oversized, but also have really good length. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. But suffice to say, I had to buy 2 of them just to, see the sizes. And you can't go into a store and get talls. You have to order their talls online, which is sort of annoying. Otherwise, I would have just gone into the store to try them on, but I digress. Anyways, so that's why it's so pricey. I don't even know if I have the correct amount of money in my envelope right now to pay this back, but regardless, it's irrelevant because I'm going to be returning the turtleneck, whichever one doesn't fit. So anyways, $93.69, and I'll be returning $94 to the bank. Next up, we've got another shipping supply purchase from Amazon. This was just for like these little cellophane bags that I use to ship some of my products in. It was $8.76, and I'll be returning $9 to the bank. Next up, we had another big Target purchase. This was such a good day for me. So the purchase was $92.69, and I'll flip over for the breakdown because we do have some more purchases. So Target was having I think it was like one toy you could get 25% off of, which is not like a super duper fantastic sale, but I'll take 25% off of a gift. And I had one in mind for my daughter. She really likes those American Girl style dolls that Target makes. She has a couple of them, and she likes like all of the accessories and all that kind of stuff that comes with it. And so they released like a little kitchen set this year for the dolls. Like it comes with the fridge and a bunch of food, and I can't even remember what all was included in it, but she loved it. So I had already planned to go there that day and buy that for her 25% off. But I happened to catch it on a day when like a bunch of that stuff was on sale, including the kitchen. So the kitchen was reduced already like 10% or something. And then I was able to use the 25% off coupon on top of that, which was wonderful. And then when I was just kind of like walking through the toy aisles, I noticed that all of their advent calendars were on sale. They were 20% off that day, which was, again, a good deal. I probably would be able to get a better deal on Black Friday. But frankly, the idea of like going out and Black Friday shopping doesn't appeal to me the way that it used to. And I also don't want to miss out on certain things that are important to me to get, like especially an advent calendar, because I like to have it, obviously on December 1st so that my kids can start opening it. Just a fun little tradition that I've started with them, but I don't want to miss out on it because I'm like waiting for a good deal, and 20% off was good enough for me. So I had already had my daughter's advent calendar from last year. If you've been around here long enough, you'll remember that purchase because I think I ended up buying it in like January or something. But I needed one for my son, and they had one that was like right up his alley. So I was so excited about that. So it ended up being a really great purchasing day from Target that day because I got a deeper discount on my daughter's gift than I was planning to. And then I got a really great discount on my son's gift too. So all in all, for that purchase, $7 of it came from grocery because I had to get something for my son's school lunches. And then I spent a total of $85.67 on the gifts for my kiddos, which was much less than I was, not much less, but pretty decently less than I was expecting to spend. So I'll be returning $86 from Christmas. But that was a fun one because it was like, who doesn't love a good deal, you know? Anyways. Next up, again, more with those games like I was mentioning earlier. This was just another one of those purchases. It was $2.11, and I'll just be returning $2 to the bank. And then this one was a USPS charge. I had to buy a bunch of different shipping labels to ship out some giveaways. And so the total came to $23.01, and I'll be returning $23 to the bank from my YouTube spending envelope. And then last up, we've got this Sprouts grocery purchase. Again, I was telling you guys earlier, I did go over the grocery budget this week, but that was because I found this pork thing, this pork, what was it? Like a bone-in pork shoulder. So I'll actually probably be able to get 4 meals out of this pork shoulder. So it was definitely worth it. And it was deeply discounted because it was close to the like freeze by date, which doesn't ever bother me. I just came right home, put it in the freezer. So, but I picked up some other things too. So it was $40.31. I'll be returning $40 to the bank. Again, I'm not really sure how much I have left in grocery, but again, it's not that big of a deal. I'll just stuff it less next week. So anyways, we are done going over the purchases. So now that we're done that, I'm going to zoom you guys back out and we will get into the rest of the video. All right. So now what I'm going to do is actually add up all of the return to bank money so that I have a general idea of what I should expect to have at the end of all of this unstuffing. Obviously we subtract as we go if there's a deficit in the envelope, but I'll go over with you guys how I do that as well. But I always zoom you guys through this part because watching me use a calculator is not the content that you are here for. So I'm going to zoom through this and then we'll come back and get into the unstuffing. Okay, so we should have $624 at the end of this when all is said and done. Give or take a few, we'll figure it out. But I am just gonna jump right in first up to, let me get my cash tray. By the way, these cash trays can be purchased from an Etsy shop called Funds and Fun. I'll go ahead and leave it linked below for you guys. She is fabulous. She hand makes these. They come in a great variety of neutral colors and not so neutral colors. And I love them. So anyways, I'll just jump into gifts. I know we have a few here. Let's see. So that's 12, 22. And that's it. All right, so that is our holiday sinking funds. So $22 from gifts. I think we're shy, but we'll sort it out. Oops. 10, 21. Oh. How did I have exactly $22 in there? Wild. Nobody saw that coming. Least of all me. Okay. Well, I guess we are reconciled for gifts then. $22. Perfect. All right. So let me go to this. Yeah. Now we have $0 left in gifts and I'm going to go ahead. I only put the balance on the very last purchase because I don't need to repeat the balance every single time. And we'll just stay in holiday sinking funds since we're here. And because I know, yeah, we've got Christmas. So 23 and 86. I think those are the only two, but that's 109 from Christmas. This is one, it's like, no, we're stuffing it. Now we're just going to be unstuffing it because we're actually using it. So 110. Yes. 50s, and I will pull one back because it was 109. All right, so remaining in Christmas, we've got 50, 70, 90, 110, 130, 50, 70, 90, 210, 230, 50, 70, 90, 310, 330, 50, 1, 2, 3. So 353 remaining in Christmas. Let me put that back here. 353. Typically, we like to take money to the bank if we reach $250, but I'm wondering if we should even bother doing that with Christmas because we are entering into the Christmas season of purchasing things. So I think I probably shouldn't actually. We'll see. Anyways, for now, that's a problem for future Veda. We're gonna let her worry about that later. For now, I gotta keep going with this. Gifts. I don't think there's anything else. No, there are no other holiday sinking funds. So we did that. Now let's go ahead and go into low priority because the next unaccounted for expense comes from there. So we've got his Mr. Simple spent a couple things this week. So, oh wait, yeah, there we go. So 16, 5. Oh, that's it. Oh, so that's going to be 21. Oops. From Mr. Simple. 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Oh, he's $2 shy. I can show you guys how we handle that. All right, so because he's shy, here I'm gonna have to move some stuff out of the way. This is how we handle that. So I'm just gonna pop back into my budget planner here and show you what we do. So I go into, anytime there's a discrepancy from one week to the next, I go into my monthly funding plan. This is part of my budget planner. You get one monthly funding plan with every month. So 3 or 4 with every quarter, 3 with every quarter. Anyways, this is something that I utilize to plan out my cash stuffings from week to week. And so what I do if there's ever a discrepancy, so we just have the 4th, right? We just have the 4th October cash stuffing left. And so I just go into what what my plan was for that week. And then I just do -2 so that I know, I am not going to be fully stuffing that one because there was a discrepancy this week. So that's how we handle that. We really try not to go over budget from month to month, but we're not as finicky about going over budget from week to week because it's all money that's accounted for that month, if that makes sense. So let me just go ahead and go in here. So he's got nothing left in his envelope. And there we go. So now we will go into family fun. We're going to have to see here. So 4 and then 14 and then, oh, that's it. Okay. So $18 from family fun. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17, 18. I knew we had this left because when we got to the pumpkin patch, we didn't use everything that we had. And this was what remained. And they gave me back the crumpliest ones. Goodness. All right. Okay. And so that does it for family fun, which is now also empty. But again, not a big deal. We don't do too much like family fun wise around this time of year. Summer is our more family fun heavy activity time. Okay, so then next up we've got hers, and we'll just have to see what's left in mine. So I've got 31, 12, 94, oops, and 2. So that's 139, which I'm pretty sure I don't have, but again, it's not that big of a deal because I am returning one of those dresses and I actually have some money sitting in one of my cashback apps that I use a pretty substantial amount. So that's why I felt comfortable spending this to begin with. So we'll just see what we have here. So 20, 30, 40, 55, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, and 78. So I have a $61 discrepancy. Oh, do you know what? I actually need to notate that. So who was my first? Mr. Simple was my first discrepancy. So -2 and then -61. And then I'll just know, again, I just notate that over here so that I know that I have this discrepancy. Oops, is that the right one? There we go. Hers. So -61. There we go. Okay. And now I can just go ahead and cross out all of this stuff so that I know that it's mostly-ish been accounted for. There. I think that's it. All right. So 20. I have a bunch of small bills in here. Oops. All right. Moving right along, we will see what other low priority we have. Oh, home decor. I think there's just that one from home decor. Yes. $20. There we go. So I'll just grab the 20 from in here, and remaining we've got 10, 11, 12, and 13. There we go. All right, and then let's see. Shipping supplies, that's all either business or high priority. Yep, okay. All right, well then let's just go ahead and move into high priority. Since that's second to last up here, let's grab, first up, we've got home maintenance. So we've got 15, 15. Oh, all right, $30 from home maintenance. All right, I'll just do that. All right, remaining in home maintenance, we've got 20, 30, 45, 55, 56. There we go, 56. And track those. And then here we'll just move right down into grocery. I know I'm gonna have a deficit here too, but it's fine. So we've got 18. Really? 18. Why did I think there were more than just that on the front? 7 and 40. So 65. Let's see what we've got in here. 35. So I only have a $30 discrepancy. If you've been around here long enough, you know that that's kind of a big deal to only be missing $30 in groceries. So minus 30, just so that I know to subtract it from the end, and I'll go ahead and track that. And I know there was one on the front. There we go. All right. You know what? That is not bad. I'm going to just make a note of that here. Minus 30. All right. Perfect. All right. Next up is clothes. I think there was just the one purchase, so $36. Yeah, I'm only seeing one for clothes. So 36, 20. Oh, perfect. I love when there's exact change. 5, 36. All right, remaining in clothes, we've got 20, 40, 60, 85, 86. just make sure. Oh, okay, here we go. Toiletries, I think there's only that one. Yep, so $27 from toiletries. 25, 26, and 27. All right, remaining in toiletries, we've got 10, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right, 20. And a medical, we're pulling 43 from there. There we go. Oh, I always do that. I always pull out the placeholder. So 20, oh, we are just shy. Okay, so 20, 45. Oh, wait. Not a 10. Ooh, that would have been tricky. And then I need to pull back 2. I would have been like, why do I have extra or not enough money in here? You guys were probably screaming at me. Here we go. So now in medical, I've got 20, 40, 60, 75, 80, 81, 82, 83, and 84. Plus the 250 we have in our high yield savings account. All right, 84. Perfect. And I think, is that going to do it for high priority? Yep. The only thing we have left are business expenses. So I will just grab my business binder here. Most of this I think is coming from YouTube. Actually, no, I think we have a lot in shipping supplies too, which I might have a deficit in, but again, not that big of a deal. So let's go ahead and reconcile these YouTube ones first. So we've got 15. Oh, I thought there were more than that. All right, 15 and 23. That's $38 coming out of YouTube. All right, we'll just do 40 and I'll get 2 back. So remaining in YouTube, we've got 10, 25, 30, 31, 32, 33. All right, and just cross this one off. There it is. Let me just make sure, because I'm like, why do I feel like I don't have enough? But I'm doing okay. All right, so shipping supplies, we've got 40, 47, 9. Oh, that's it. So 56. We'll see what I have in shipping supplies. Oh, like not at all. Close. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I have a $52 deficit. That's totally fine because I haven't done my Etsy and YouTube stuffing for the month of October. So it's not like I don't have the money there. It's just not in the envelope. So I need to subtract $52 from my total at the end, minus 52. There we go. All right. And I do need to make a note of that as well in my budget planner so that I know when I do my stuffing that I need to account for that discrepancy. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so let me just go ahead and figure out what my new total is going to be. So we started out with $624, but we are subtracting our deficits here. So $2, $61, $30, and $52. So actually I should have $479 sitting here. So let's see if we did it. Here we go. 50, 100, 20, 40, 60, 80, 200, 20, 40, 60, 80, 300, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 95. 400? 5, 10, 15, 25, 35, 45, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 479. Did it. Perfect. Wonderful. All right. That's it, guys. That's how you do an expense tracking weekly check-in. I know it seems chaotic, and if you are new to this way of budgeting, please, please, please don't feel discouraged if you're confused. I was confused too. I had no idea what people were doing. It took me watching hours, honestly, of cash stuffing and zero-based budgeting content to finally pick up on how we were going to implement that system in our own finances. But it really does make sense. And I promise if you watch several different content creators, you'll really pick up an idea of how people go about doing stuff like this and how they make it work for them. And then through that, you will be able to make the system work for you too. I pinky swear. If I can do it, anybody can do it. But yeah, so that's going to be it for me for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, I would love it so much if you would leave me a comment below, give me a thumbs up, and just say hi. I like seeing you guys around there. And then I'm actually going to be back with you. We have a lot of bonus content coming up leading into the month of November. Obviously, we've got our budget with me. We have the Etsy and YouTube cash stuffing, but then we also have a bill condensing, which is also super duper fun. So stay tuned for all of that. I'm going to be back with you guys on Monday with the last cash stuffing of October. And let's all cross our fingers and toes that I do not delete the footage this time, because that would be a nightmare. So anyways, I hope that you guys have an absolutely wonderful weekend, and I look forward to being back here with you guys again on Monday. Bye, everyone.